Well, good morning and welcome to Over the Vast Nurseries. I'm David Wilson and I'm here in our rose testing and trialing area. This is where we test and evaluate roses to make sure that they're good performers for this region. That's the Mid-Atlantic and Northeastern states of the US. As you see, we grow a lot of different varieties here, comparing them one with each other to make sure that they're able to stand up to our winter conditions, our summer conditions, and of course flower very well and put on a good show. Now, I want to tell you a little story. Way back in 1973, when I was a young student, I had the privilege of working on an exhibit at the famous Chelsea Flower Show. Now, in those days, I was a wide-eyed student. I was drinking in information from wherever I could get it, and I was really interested in going to the show and seeing all the beautiful plants there from the best nurseries in the British Isles. I seen sweet peas and begonias, perennials from Blooms and Beth Chateau, and of course lots of roses. All the main rose houses were there exhibiting their roses. Those were the days of mail order. You ordered your roses at the show or from a coloured catalogue, and then they were delivered in the mail the following spring. And there in the Grand Marquee were all the rose companies like Harkness and Friars and Cants of England, Cockers from Aberdeen in Scotland, and of course Dixon's from my native Northern Ireland. And I was interested to see all of the beautiful roses that they had exhibited in their grand displays, great bowls of long-stemmed roses. And the following morning when the show opened, I went there and I looked around, and I was kind of surprised that there wasn't that much interest in these hybrides and floribundas. Meanwhile, down one of the aisles, further on the outskirts of the show, there was another rose company there exhibiting. And the difference was that the public were standing 4 and 5 deep, peering in, wanting to see the latest varieties that that company had on offer. It was, of course, David Austin with its famous classic English roses. Here was a company that was bringing out these old-fashioned, beautiful roses and had managed to get many of his newer varieties to repeat bloom, and so there was a lot of interest. People were kind of getting tired of the high maintenance, highly bred hybrids and floribundas, and they were looking for a change, looking for all of these gorgeous roses that they could grow in their garden. Now fast forward a lot of years, look at the color of the hair here, and now here in this garden we're growing lots of David Austin roses, and these are the ones that we're testing and trialing to see how they perform right here in this part of North America. And on this channel we're going to be showing you the results of our evaluations and trials, the ones that we found to be the absolute best performing varieties for this area. So come with me now, and I want to show you a special variety that is relatively recently introduced. And this is what I wanted to show you. What a beautiful rose. This is Eustacia Vye from David Austin Roses, a nice, vigorous, strong growing plant that has these absolutely gorgeous multi-petal double flowers, as you see, that comes out with this lovely bright soft pink. Now you'll see that all over this plant is lots and lots of buds carried on strong stems that incidentally have very few thorns. There are some there, but really not many compared to several other varieties. You'll see that it produces all these buds in clusters up near the tops of the plants. And in about a week or 10 days, this plant is going to be an absolute picture. It's just starting the first of its flowers now. Then when all of these come out, it's going to be covered with lots of these flowers. Now you'll see that the red tinted buds that are on here open to this very nice, clear, pure pink flower. And then as they open up, if you look at this flower here, you'll see that in the center it's got an apricot kind of coral pink shading to the center of the flower. Ruffled petals, and the individual flowers are kind of flat shaped. Then you'll see that as the outer petals unfold, that they have a paler, lighter pink towards the extremities of the flower. Altogether, really putting on a terrific show, and also sporting a very nice fruity fragrance. Now, one of the things I've noticed yesterday when I was looking at this rose, it was bright and sunny, and it's a little bit cloudy and overcast this morning. So when you smell it, fragrance is definitely there, but yesterday when I smelt it, I was getting hardly any fragrance. So I suppose it ebbs and flows according to the time of day, and also probably our noses as well. Anyway, this is a beautiful, nice, tight, compact and yet nice, vigorous growing rose that gets to about, I suppose, 4 foot high by about 4 to 5 foot wide. You'll see that the shape of the plant is a little wider rather than tall. And besides the beautiful flowers that it's got on it, one of the things we like about this variety is its natural disease resistance. If you've been watching any of the other videos here on this channel, you'll see that when we plant them here in that furthest bed and in this one, these are varieties that are not sprayed. They have not had any fungicidal treatment whatsoever. They were pruned in springtime, given a little bit of fertilizer, and that's it. And as you see, this plant is covered with lots of dark green, glossy or semi-glossy foliage, really, that's very impressive. And we've noticed that through the season, even during the summertime, when it becomes quite difficult for roses to grow, a stressful period in the heat and humidity and dry period, we mulch the ground. I should mention that too. We mulch the ground, so that helps to preserve moisture in the soil. But outside of that, this plant and that one hasn't had any special treatment, and yet look at it, full of health and vigor, a very good, wonderful performing rose that we hope you get a chance to be able to grow in your garden. This is David Austin's Eustacia Vye, introduced in 2019. It's a hardy Zone 4 plant, so it'll grow anywhere in our region, and also named after one of the characters in Thomas Hardy's novel Return of the Native. So now I hope you can see and understand what all those people were interested in all those many years ago. This is David Wilson. Enjoy your gardening. It's good for us, and it's very good for our environment too.